with the main event. We had Brandon Royval versus Brandon Moreno. By the way, how tough was it at the end when they're reading off? And he goes,
Like
winner by
Brandon.
split decision, Brandon. And they both just kind of like, oh, I
They're like,
don't know.
yeah. I mean, the scorecards were all over the place too. So you're like, I have no idea who won this.
Oh, all over the
But
place.
I'll tell you what, um, live scoring, I thought Moreno maybe edged it out. I gave him rounds 1 and 2, and then 5 is like it was a tough one to score, honestly. Um, but I had Moreno winning, but not confidently, and you could easily say Royval
Yeah.
won, like not a robbery whatsoever, anything like that. I probably won't rewatch this if I'm being honest, but um, it was a decent enough fight, but I'll probably not rewatch this. I'm not mad at the decision at all. Um, Interesting game plan from Moreno in this one. Really surprising.
Yeah. Yeah. I gave rounds 1 and 2 to Moreno, and I did give rounds 3 through 5 to Royval.
Mhm.
And I love Brandon Moreno, man.
Yeah.
But the game plan of kind of sitting back, waiting to counter as much as possible. He had that big looping overhand right that he tried to land a
Mhm.
few times. He tried to land the overhand left a few times, which he did catch Royval a few times.
Well,
He cracked him.
if you watch Brandon Royval, he a lot of times he uses that tall man defense, so those looping big shots do land on him quite a bit. Kai Kara France rocked him with it. Bontorin, I think, was cracking him with it. Did they even fight? I don't even remember. Um, he's been hit with that a few times, and Moreno was landing it over and over and over again early. He did fight Bontorin, but you know, sitting back and trying to just do that, it's not going to work. Not at this level, you know.
Yeah.
And I think the first round, Moreno was very aware. We're in Mexico City. It's 7,000 feet. I don't want to gas. And then round two, I
Mm.
thought he picked it up pretty well. And I was like, okay, this is Brandon Moreno. He's going to start. He's in gear now, and he's feeling it. And then he just never really did. And on the flip side, Royval made expert reads with the knee up the middle because you have Moreno ducking like this to throw those overhands. The knee is there, and Royval he's so tall for the division, he can just bring that knee up. He did it against Nicolau, knocked him out. His knees have always been fantastic. Um, and it's interesting because normally he looks for the knee and forces it, and that's where you can crack him with that overhand because he's on one leg, he's throwing a knee, he's standing upright. You can crack him with those overhands. But the other side is if you're throwing the overhand first, the knee's a good counter for that overhand. They're like play into each other on both sides. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Whoever's looking for the counter, whoever's starting it. Moreno really just threw that looping, arching left hook, the overhand right to the left low kick, and that was pretty much it.
Yeah, and especially after who was it, Safe Saud that made
Mhm.
that read where he said, "Hey, just go to the well, keep on going with that overhand right to the left
To the left hook or left
leg
body
kick."
or left leg kick, yeah.
Yeah, until he makes a read,
And he
and
didn't. He
that
never
was
made
all
the
he
read,
did.
he just kept eating it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it was a definitely different from what we've seen from Brandon Moreno here in his last few fights. You know,
Yeah.
so I
I think the big thing is, Royval. I need to rewatch their first fight, but it didn't last long, right? The first time they fought?
that's one where Royval
Round
messed
1.
up his shoulder.
Yeah, round
Yeah.
1, and it was a lot of grappling from Moreno, but I think the long southpaw just destroyed his game because the jabbing in the open stance is much harder. That's why he's leading with that overhand right, and he just never got behind his jab. He never. I don't think he even threw any jabs this whole fight, and I think it has more to do with some people are saying he's washed and all this stuff. I think he just was perplexed by a long southpaw. Sometimes it's as simple as that, um,
Yeah. But
and
by the way, you mentioned grappling. Man,
mhm,
seeing Royval
scrambles.
scrambling, it is insane, so
Yeah,
dangerous. And props to Moreno for wanting to hang out in his guard, or
yeah.
still even trying to attack. Because there's a few times that Royval was just like spinning on his back and trying to catch his leg, and he'd spin back, and you see he goes for the triangle. It's just nonstop, man. Uh, so it's so much fun to watch
Mhm.
Royval off his back.
Yeah, he's super fun on the ground. He always has been when his shoulder stays in place. And then speaking of, the first fight ends with the shoulder dislocation in round 1 from a grappling exchange. And this fight, round 1, he throws a kick, and probably tears something in his knee. And he's shaking it out the whole fight. He has him ice it in between rounds. They ask him, "Is it your foot? Is it your knee?" He's like, "It's my knee."
Not
They
my
put the
knee,
ice on
yeah.
his knee, and he's still just. And there was a couple times there was some grappling situations where Moreno would go for the single leg with a high crotch, and he'd raise that leg up. Now he's planted on the bad leg, and he's hopping and he's twisting. And I was like,
Oof.
"Ah, please! I don't want to see it go out. I don't want to see that." And he
Yeah.
stayed with it. He kept throwing. He kept kicking. His 1-2 was good. He never really he found the knee counter, but then kind of ditched it. He never really made Moreno pay for those overhands, those reaching overhands. Moreno wasn't using his feet at all. He was just reaching with these punches, and he never really made him pay with one time he hit him with a good cross, like a pull counter. That was nice. But it was really just volume that won him this one. I think he threw over 450 strikes at
It's
7,000
insane.
feet. That's pretty nuts. Um, Never really put sting on it other than a couple times. So ultimately, like I said, I'm probably never going to rewatch this fight unless it's like Moreno is fighting another southpaw. Let's see what he did against the last southpaw, and I have to refresh or something. But
Yeah.
or if you're a southpaw, if he's fighting a southpaw, I want to see like what can he do to make Moreno struggle. But I don't know. It was a decent fight. We got
I mean, I think
comments. We got
the story of the fight though was pretty much just the sheer volume and
volume.
the sheer
Yeah,
pressure from Royval,
and the
and it
takedown
was Moreno
defense.
in the takedown defense, the fifth round. You had Moreno that was like Rich puts a picture up here. It was just clinching. Seemed like he
Mhm.
was I don't know, just trying to control him up against the cage, seeing if he could win the round that way. Herb Dean was not having it.
He's like, I
Uh,
just came back from Thailand, dude. We're not doing this. He's like, we don't have yellow cards, but I could break this up quick, dude. There was a point where
he came in
Moreno
Bangkok
clinched.
ready, bro, and he
Yeah,
was
dude.
like, "Nah."
Moreno came in for a clinch, pushed him up against the fence, and like one
Two
second later,
seconds
Herb's
later.
like, gotta work. I was like, damn, dude, he thinks he's still at one.
So
Trying to
funny.
push the pace, dude. Poor Moreno's like, I'm in fucking Mexico City, Herb. I need a fucking break, dude.
So funny. Hey, I was here for it though.
Yeah, same.
Good job, Herb
Keep
Dean.
going. Good
Yeah.
job, Herb Dean. Ganscow says fight card was mid. You can take the day off if you want.
So it sounds like
uh,
Ganskow probably gave it a C as well, maybe C minus from
maybe
Ganskow.
C minus. Yeah. Blunderrope says I
Yeah.
hate the way Moreno fights, so I gave him no rounds. Yeah, this was a different Moreno.
This was different.
This is not normal Moreno. I
He
almost thought he
didn't
was
do
like
the
injured at some point. Yeah, he wasn't shrugging. He never got to feel himself.
yeah.
That's why.
Oh, that's a good way to look at it. Yeah, because he usually
Yeah.
does when
Once he gets into rhythm, yeah.
yeah.
Genevieve says, I don't know how they scored the first round because no one did anything. Yeah. And
I think they gave him the first round based off of the pop that he got when he walked out. They're like, oh, nobody did anything. He had more crowd behind him. Let's give it to him. First
hey,
round.
shout out the walkout by Royval, by the way. Oh my
Oh, really
God,
good.
dude.
Hey, how
El Rey.
about
And he's like crying. And you're like, oh, what's
dude?
wrong? And then it switches to ODB. And I'm like, oh, fuck yeah, dude. Because he always walks out to ODB. And he walks out to El Rey. And I'm like, okay, it's cool. I feel it. But like, where's ODB? That's like your raw dog. It's like that's your signature, it works with your nickname. And then it switches, and I was like, "Fuck yeah, dude!" I think I texted you and George, and I was like,
Dude, the
"Want the walkout
fucking
battle?"
emotion though.
I
The
know.
emotion from Brandon Royval as he's walk. I'm getting goosebumps right now, dude, just thinking about it. It was insane.
Better than the fight.
They
The
were just
walkout was better than the fight.
there was more passion coming out for the walkout.
Yeah.
Like,
Ganscow says maybe open scoring can fix these guys constantly fighting
mm.
to a split. They've got to know it's close, but just go for it. But just go point for point. Yeah, it's
No,
open
no, I
scoring's
don't like that
interesting,
because then
man.
how else are we gonna get 49-46 on one and then 48-47 on the other? And then
Okay, I'm glad you brought that up actually because
it was a little crazy, right?
I'm gonna pull up the scorecards because they make no sense. Regardless of who you think won this fight, the scorecards are fucking wild, dude. Give me
Yeah.
one sec here. I have them up. Let's
And look,
see.
I'm a Moreno fan. And when I heard the
Same.
49-46 Moreno, I was like, oh, well,
Roy Val
I
looks
don't
at his
know.
coach, is like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
But dude, okay, Mike Bell gives round
Okay.
one to Moreno. That's a toss-up round. It could go either way. Round
Okay.
two, I thought was very clear Moreno. Uh,
Uh-huh.
Mike Bell gives it to Royval. Round three, I thought that's where the tide was turning. He gives it to Royval. That's fine. Round four, Royval. That's fine. Round five, Moreno. Again, I think. What do you like? Volume? You like power? I think one of the two. That's a fine scorecard for Mike Bell. Um, except for round two, that's kind of crazy, in my
Yeah, that
opinion.
is insane.
Camijo was the one who gave it 49-46 Moreno. He goes round one Moreno, whatever, toss up round. Round two Moreno, That's fair. I have that. Round 3, he gives to Moreno, which is crazy to me. I think that's the one halfway through the round. Royval started throwing that open side kick over and over, and Moreno was just caught at the end of his jab and his kicks. That was a clear Royval round. Then he gives
Mhm.
round 4 to Royval, and then 5 to Moreno. Chris Lee gives rounds 1 and 2 both to Royval. That's crazy to me. But then 3 to Moreno, which is also crazy to me. Then round 4 to Royval, and then 5 to Moreno. It's crazy, dude. So
All over the place.
round one, both fighters got it on scorecards. Round 2, both fighters got it on scorecards. Round 3, both fighters won round 3 on scorecards. Round 4, all went to Royval, and
Mhm.
round 5, all went to Moreno. What the hell? How is there that much? That's crazy.
Discrepancy? Yeah. I
Yeah,
don't know, man. Hey, shout out HOB Comer who's joining us now.
that's nuts, dude.
Um, man, just yeah, I don't know. I don't know. And HOB Comer doesn't seem to think that open scoring will solve anything. And he likes what Mighty Mouse suggested. Have the referee scoring the fight too.
Mighty Mouse has some good takes, but sometimes I feel like refs aren't scoring. Like maybe it's because they're not scoring, but they're so focused on making sure they already their job's too hard in my opinion already. Um, just because most of the time they're not watching the fight. They're just watching reactions. They're looking for specific things. They're not paying attention to like the fight and how it's going necessarily.
You
Um,
should ask Olivier Coss.
I'll ask him.
Yeah,
He's
ask
gonna
him
be
and see
like,
what he says.
"Fuck no." He's like, "I don't want to score fights."
Yeah.
Oh
Blunderbuff
man,
saying the crowd fight was better than the main event. Sweet KO.
double
That guy
KO.
KO'd two people.
Yeah, that was awesome. You
Two
see Dana
people.
at the press conference was like, they asked him about it. He's like, that was fucking crazy. He's like, I've never seen anything like that. The security just like didn't do anything.
They
They
let
just
it
let it
go.
play out. It's like, damn, dude.
Gentlemen's agreement.
Let them be warriors out there, dude. Mario
Yeah, Dana's like,
Yamasaki
I'm letting
working
him
the
go out the
security.
field, dude.
Yeah.
That's so funny. But
Um,
yes, hey, shout out Blunderbuff. That's a good point, man. That crowd was wild. And the entire
yeah.
night, man, it was a good crowd.
Well, yeah, you go to Mexico City, it's gonna be awesome. It's awesome every time. But is
Yeah.
there anywhere else we could go in Mexico? Can we just not go to Mexico City? The crowd's great, but we shouldn't be having fights at 7,000 feet. That's too high. This is too much. They didn't have anybody above lightweight in this whole entire card because they're like, yeah, no, we're not doing that again. We're not having
Dude, I'm just
heavyweights fight
waiting
at
for Elon
7,000
to
feet.
take us to Mars, bro. And then I'm like, let's get a UFC fight night Mars, bro. Let's
Yeah,
do this. Ganskow saying Tijuana, maybe.
that'd be tight, dude. That'd be wild. That'd
HOB
be
Comer, give them
wild.
all EPO. I mean,
Hey, some say they might already.
yeah, I was gonna say. All right, but hey,
We-
fun main event. I
It was
enjoyed it.
it was fine. It sucks to see Moreno lose. I'm a big fan.
Me too.
He's got to do something about fighting South. If that's all it was, if there was no injury or anything like that, like you got to be able to. Because normally he's punches and bunches, mixing up that body kick to like his jab is fantastic against Figueiredo, things like that.
Like
He
the work
fought this
that he
fight
did
like
against
Figueiredo.
Kai Kara France.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was opposite, right? He shifted in so he could throw the left body kick, which wouldn't be there for a southpaw,
No, but I'm saying the way that he mixed it in.
well,
Like
yeah, yeah.
he was a lot more creative with his striking in that one.
Yeah, HLB Comer saying people say he broke his hand at the end of the round. Maybe because like it was a baffling performance, if I'm being honest. Like
Yeah.
it was weird. It was like, when is he gonna kick it in? And it's almost like, did he misjudge the cardio, thinking like, okay, I'll turn it up midway through the fight, and then couldn't, and was like,
And he was
fuck.
like, "Oh, wait."
Yeah. Maybe. I don't know. It was weird though.
Yeah.
But yeah, Royval, he's calling out Pantoja. They cut to Pantoja. He goes 0-5. That was pretty tight because he's beaten these guys 5 times now. Both guys in the main
That
event
was pretty
combined
gangster, actually.
0-5 against him. Um,
Yeah, but
yeah,
then it was like flipped around because he was like, dude, and then he's like,
yeah,
like he had to show the camera, like, no, the 5 is me. 5 is me.
yeah. They're 0-5, not
He
me.
seems like a character, dude.
I love Pantoja, dude.
Did you see the video of him eating tacos?
No.
No, okay, so they do this video, Tracy Cortez, dime piece, by the way, and
Mhm.
they have her
Who was
testing
there
out
in attendance?
awkward. They have her testing
Yeah.
out tacos blindfolded, and they have to guess what kind of like meat it is, right? So they give her
Okay.
like tacos al pastor, asada, like all the good stuff. She's guessing them. Dude, they give
Mhm.
Pantoja like like ant larva, They give him like
What?
worms. They give him like all the most random shit, and he downs every single one. And he's like,
He's like,
delicious. Like,
"Asada."
it didn't matter what it was, and he downed him. It was so funny. You got to watch that video.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Damn. That's brutal. How
Yeah.
they gotta do the champ like that, dude?
I don't know,
That's
dude, but
fucked
he
up,
was
dude.
downing him without any problem. All right, man. But anything else on the main event?
I don't know. Maybe they do Royval versus Albazi. He filled in for Albazi. It was funny. Royval was like, "Yeah, I said I'll be the backup because I thought I was gonna get a free vacation to Mexico." But then they called me and said I had to fight, and I was like, "Fuck." But yeah, maybe they'll do Royval versus Albazi because you don't do Royval title shot right away. You can't. And
No.
Moreno, maybe you rematch with Kaikara France or
Oh,
Nicolau.
what do we
Maybe
do there? It's
skips
starting to get
because he was supposed
messy.
to fight. Yeah, he was supposed to fight Cobb, and that couldn't happen. So maybe Nicolau gets a bump to fight Moreno. And then there's rumors that Kyoji Horiguchi's coming back. But I feel like if Kyoji comes back, that's just like immediate title shot. So it doesn't really matter. He shouldn't have to fight anybody. He should go straight to the belt. We'll see.
All right.
But let's just,
All right.
keep it moving, please.
Yeah.
Hey everybody, Ramiro and Will here. Thank you so much for watching that short clip. It's just a small clip of what we covered this last Sunday.
Yeah, if you want to check out the full fight card recap, the link is in the description, and it's going to be on screen at the end here. Don't forget to go back and watch our fighter interviews that we have. And don't forget to tune in live every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, and you can join in on the fun.
Yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It goes a long way. All right, everybody, thanks for watching that short clip from Story of the Fight.